Hey everyone, welcome back to On Your Mental. My name is Ruben and I'm your host. And today I'm going to be talking with my roommate Evan. Today we're talking about long-term relationships and what that's kind of like as a young man. And we're comparing that with my own experience not being in a long-term relationship. And we had a really good talk. Really good talk. I enjoyed it, and so I hope you all do too. If you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to make sure you're subscribed. That way you know when new episodes are coming out. But there will be one every week. If you're listening to this, follow, and then that way it'll automatically pop into your Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you're at. And then lastly, if there's something you want to ask me, if there's something you want to ask men in general, leave a comment. And I'll be sure to address that in a later episode at some point. Or maybe it'll even be an entire episode unto itself. But for now, enjoy today, and I will see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Oh, perfect.
Kind of cool. What did you and Fanny do for Valentine's Day? I know you do it a day before.
Well, we went for dinner. That's like the main thing.
Yeah.
That's the classic. Well, yeah, we did the day before because that's smarter than doing it on the actual day of. I actually worked like in the morning, and she was okay with that because, we're almost 6 years in now.
Is it that
so
long?
like almost 6 years next month.
6 years.
So basically,
6 years in
there's
total?
We'll get to that part. But it's 6 years.
Sure.
Yeah, in total. So when you're like this far in, the expectations of like year 1 and 2 are not there anymore.
Sure.
But obviously, I'm still going to put in some effort. We had like the last few years, I would get flowers and stuff. But like this year, she said it like pretty bluntly. She's like, I don't want flowers from a supermarket this year. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's like the one thing that like I need to get right.
Yeah.
So I got some of these like forever roses, which you saw, which is supposed to last like 2-3 years.
Yeah, what's the deal? How does that even? Are they real roses? Are they alive?
They're real roses, and then they like spray something to preserve them, and then they're supposed to last 2-3 years.
Could you do that with anything?
I'm not sure about that.
Put it on all my plants. Wouldn't have to worry about my bonsai.
And then after I got the roses, she's like, "Great, now you're not going to buy many flowers for 2-3 years." So yeah, you got it. You know the plan.
Genius.
I've been like thinking about it.
Genius.
Yeah.
Where did you find out about forever roses? Like, how do you even get that?
You know how like those ads are, right? You say something and then your phone picks it up, and then all of a sudden you're getting ads for whatever you spoke about like 15 minutes ago. Nice. Yeah. So yeah, nice. I saw like some, and then you always see like every IG model has like roses in a box, shaped in a heart, and it costs like hundreds of dollars.
Bastards.
Yeah, I just googled forever roses Vancouver, found the place, looked nice.
That's cool.
Just bought it.
It's better than the regular little roses. You're right. I used to think that at least like going to like a proper like florist or something was decent. You know.
Well, yeah, they are a florist, but yeah, just as long as we're not going to Safeway, Save On.
Yeah. Yeah. Happy 6 years, babe. Fuck off. Or I guess 6 Valentine's, whatever. When's your anniversary?
March 15th.
March. So close to my birthday. Wow.
Yeah, that's exactly how I correlate the two. Yes. Like, oh, we're almost about to have my anniversary. It's Ruben's birthday.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's funny. I did line up intentionally my anniversary with Gemma at the time when we were together. I lined up intentionally the date that I like asked her out to be my girlfriend when we were together.
It was
the day before Seb's birthday. Because I didn't want it to be on Seb's birthday, and I was too excited to let it go later. So I wanted to like ask.
You didn't want to do it on my birthday. The day after Seb's birthday.
No, that too. That must have been it.
Yeah, the day right after Seb's birthday.
Yes. Yeah. So I remember lining that up. That's how That's not how I always remembered, but that definitely did remind me. Oh, it's Seb's birthday too, and vice versa.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So you're just gonna cycle back, but yesterday. Yeah. We went to this really cool place called Circle Wellness Spa. And it's kind of like, it's like your own, it's in the city, right? But they make it look like you're in like some like nice garden. It's like a private little thermal spa.
Where
so
in
it's
the
secluded.
City?
It's by like East Van Industrial Ave area.
Sure.
Yeah. And basically it's just like go at your own pace kind of. Like they have like a recommendation. It's 2.5 hours ish. They have like a recommendation for how long you do. like the different activities.
What activities? I guess I'll let you finish your story.
They have like a it's Japanese style in a sense. Like I think he kept mentioning like the guy who's working like, oh, it's supposed to kind of represent like a onsen in a sense.
Sure.
So they have like a untreated cedar tub, rain shower, like a deep cold plunge, and
nice.
just do that, relax, and they have like some products for you, shampoos, toners, things like that. And then they built their own like sauna. They call it a well pod. It's basically just a sauna. And it goes up to like 50 degrees or something, so it's not as hot as some would be. But and you press this button before you go in, which sets off like a 45-minute timer. And then the walls have like Himalayan salt, like all around the walls, and there's lighting in it. And it just goes through this like music, like it's like the music thing is timed.
Yeah.
It goes through it, and then it slowly gets like it's light at it starts, and it slowly darkens. And then halfway through, it like goes like pitch black. And you're sitting like in the darkness or like laying down, you have like mats or whatever, just like I've never been so relaxed in my life.
Really? Wow.
And then it's slowly like the music will like ramp up just a little bit, like it's still soft, and then like the lights will slowly come on again from like the top down. And they also have like wind effects like inside, like so like sometimes like wind will come on and you'll feel it like blowing like on the sweat on your back because like you're pretty sweaty. And you can,
like actual air blowing over you.
Yeah, like air blowing over you sick. With like the sounds and the lights. Like it's kind of like a whole experience, you know. You're not just like sitting in a sauna like hey, how are you doing, you know, like
I love you.
Yeah. And you could wear clothes or go nude, which I was nude,
of course.
You know it.
Of course.
Yeah. No, it was really nice though. Like you
hear about that from
like
an Instagram ad too?
I think she found it somehow.
Nice.
She's like, oh, I would love to do this on Valentine's Day. Booked it right away, you know. I got to be prepared.
Have you ever done the Scandinav spa?
I have not.
Yeah.
No, I've never been to like a real spa where like someone touches you.
Yeah.
You know, in that sense. I don't know. It's not about like being comfortable. It's just, I'll just get her to massage me. You know? Why'd I have to pay someone? Get it done for free.
Scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah, no. Is it only for couples or can just anybody go then?
Anybody
can go. So
yeah.
If you
can actually go by yourself or with one person.
Circle Wellness Spa.
Or Circle Wellness Studio.
Interesting.
Yeah, something like that.
I kind of want to go after.
They're fully booked up now.
Fuck me.
Like, so when I booked in like November for February, like way back. And now if you go to the website, it says they're fully booked and they'll release bookings like for 1 month at a time. And then once it's full, they'll like shut it off again. So
it reminds me when you were talking about the whole like dimming lights thing, it reminds me of like guided meditation or something, you know, like when you can like throw on like little sleep sounds and stuff like that. Yeah, sounded like something.
It's kind of like those apps. Do you ever get like recommendations for like those soothing apps, or if you're scrolling through TikTok and it's like
and it's like time to take a break.
Yeah,
you should check this.
Kind of felt like that almost.
Yeah. No, there's this one called, I don't know if it's called Sanvello or something like that. I don't remember, but there's an app. There's an app that it's something to do with wellness. But anyways, this year I didn't do any Valentine's Day stuff because myself, I am single. In a way, I didn't do anything Valentine's Day stuff. I didn't like book anything. I didn't
nothing like romantic.
Yeah, not that setup. But this is On Your Mental.
Yeah.
So we're here to talk about I guess two different perspectives currently in our lives, and you've been in a relationship, you said at the start there, for about 6 years.
Yeah, time flies.
Time flies, buddy.
You know, it was just funny. We were talking today, and something reminded me of like Space Mountain. Have you ever been to Disneyland? The music.
Yeah.
And I wanted to like tell her how that reminded me. So I asked her the question. I was like, "Have you ever been to Disneyland?" Because I was gonna like try and relate it. And then she's like, "We went together." And then I realized, oh yeah, like the first year we were dating, we went. And I was like, oh man, time flies. It was like almost 6 years ago that we went. Like I kind of forgot about it. Yeah, it's actually on my dresser. So
man,
kind of messed that one up. She wasn't like upset that I like kind of forgot. I was just like, ooh, and then all the memories hit me, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of funny that even just that idea of like, if you don't remember something in a relationship, I felt that before, where it's like, you don't remember that we did this thing, but I can't imagine that over 6 years, dude.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot more to remember.
But it's definitely happened like on her side too, where I have to be like, no, we did this together. Like, come on.
Yeah.
How can you not know?
Cool, man.
But it happens. But yeah. It's been
So 6 years.
it's been a long 6 years.
Yeah.
A good 6 years.
A
though.
good
I
6
don't
years.
say I don't say it's been a long 6 years
years.
as in like, oh, I'm dreading it. You know, it's
Yeah.
been a good 6 years.
Yeah.
We've done a lot together, which makes it seem like all those memories, like, they just come and go, you know? But yeah, we've done like a lot together in the 6 years, especially because we've been able to travel with Air Canada and things like that.
Yeah, you guys have a very fun relationship, at least
Mhm.
from what I've seen. You guys have done a lot together, and it's nice to have that. You know, at least it seems like it's nice to have that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe tell for people listening and watching, like, what's your story, man? What's your story with your relationship? How did you guys end up meeting each other? How'd you get along that? Let me take a drink here.
Speaking to the mic here, I always imagine telling like the story of how we met to like our kids and how embarrassing it is, because we met at McDonald's.
I love it.
I worked at McDonald's first because I'm 2 years older, so I was working at McDonald's, and then she got hired, and it was definitely not love at first sight.
I was about that.
Like, I was working the front, it was like super busy, and then one day these like 5 girls come in and they're training, and she was like one of the group of 5. Yeah. They're all friends from high school, and I'm just like busting my ass, and they're working the fry station, and I'm like getting so behind, and I was just like, dude, they need to get the fuck out of the way. I'm trying to make some fries. Like, I gotta go, and they're just like all standing there. She's a pretty small girl, and she was even like smaller than, and they're like trying to hold the basket like this, the basket of fries. Like, it's like really heavy for them. They can't do it with one hand, 2 hands. Oh my God. I was just like, man, they got to get out of the way. They really do. And then
I got a fucking restaurant.
I think how we started talking was we have like a book off binder, and there was like, you can only do 6 people for a day, and I had the 6th spot on one of the days. And then she, like, we didn't even really know each other. Like, I knew her name and stuff, but that was it.
Yeah.
And then she went into the binder one day and like crossed out my name and wrote her name. So I found her on Facebook, and I messaged her, and I was like, did you like cross off my name? She's like, oh yeah, I thought you didn't need the date anymore. I was like, what?
What the fuck?
Like, why did I not need the date? But then, like, you know, after a while, like after I was like not being mad about the first time we met,
yeah,
then I was like, oh yeah, you know, pretty cute, and then we just started talking from there. Yeah, that's the story of love right there.
That's the original Happy Meal, you know. That's cute though, man. Yeah, you've like, obviously I knew before that you met at McDonald's, but yeah, that's a long time ago. The fact that she was, you said fresh out of high school or still in high school?
She was still in high school.
Still in high school. You were then
still in high school.
Yeah.
Or maybe just 1 year out. I think, yeah. Or maybe I just finished.
That's a long time. It's been a while since high school.
Yeah, no, it was my first year I went to Douglas for like a year.
Yeah.
And we started talking like that in November. I was going to do kinesiology, and then after like a year, I realized that kinesiology sucks, and no one makes money unless you have like a master's or something and open your own practice. So, yeah.
Cool. So then 6 years later, now you're here, now you're happy, and you're doing Valentine's Day stuff together with each other still, which is great.
It's been a journey. There's been mainly ups, but there's been downs too, you know, like in every relationship. There was a point, like, the 6 years that we count is actually when we got back together. So we did break up before that. I don't think we were really good friends then, or
no,
we didn't talk at all.
No.
So yeah, like before that, we actually did break up, and that was on me. I did it very poorly. So I messaged her like 8 months later. Yeah. So basically, we broke up because I thought I was like a young gun. I just turned 19. I could go to clubs now. She can't. And I was like, oh, do I really want to be in a relationship right now? Like, I don't know. So we broke up for about 8 months. And then that's like, I kind of realized as like that summer came around like winter. Yeah. No one's going out. And I was like, maybe the grass isn't greener on the other side. It was like dark brown.
It looks like
nothing good happened during that like 8 months. And then I messaged her again. And luckily she replied. Like, it wasn't like a amicable breakup. Like, I definitely fucked up. Right. But I shot my shot again, and she actually replied. But we did get back together fairly quickly. After I texted her, it was like 2 weeks later. Then we're dating, and it was like March 15th. So it's been 6 years since that date. So I've
Right.
actually known her like a longer.
Right. Did she ever
Interesting.
bring that up?
The
fact that
first
you fucked that up.
The first like 2 years was like
Mhm.
me rebuilding
Mm-hmm.
like trust,
Sure.
which is when you saw we lived together before the
Mhm.
first time. You saw that like part of our relationship, which would be like a lot more toxic than it is now.
Yeah.
In a sense, it wasn't like the healthiest of relationships.
It was just
and
a lot of like.
We worked through it
growth.
though. We worked through it,
Mm-hmm.
and I definitely think like we're in like a much better spot now.
Way
like
better.
especially that now that we've lasted like so long, like I feel like it's only been up, like a up
Mhm.
trajectory. So
And it seems like it from an outside
Mhm.
standpoint. Yeah, like me living with you then, I remember like I didn't even like her being in the home that often because I knew it just meant that you guys were going to be fighting at some point. There was gonna be
Yeah,
some problem.
it
I
was
felt like
like-
a kid and my parents are like getting pissed off or something like that. So that, yeah, compared to now, like living, like I like coming home and seeing that Fanny's here now. It's like, oh, cool. Like my friend's here.
Yeah.
Because you guys are just really, really good together.
Mhm. We still have our
Yeah.
moments like everyone else, but it's like few and far between, you know?
Mhm.
And it's nice that when I know that she's over and you're working, like you guys talk more than we talk sometimes just because
Yeah.
I'm always like playing games, but like she's always so interested in
Yeah.
like your love life or something that's going
We're like
on.
friends
right?
now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No,
I feel like one of the girls.
just another roomie.
Just another roomie, dude. Yeah. But it's been a huge, huge improvement. And I think
Mhm.
because that I'm sure is something that could lead to other people breaking up. You know what I mean?
For
Like
sure.
that time beforehand, that 2 years of rebuilding would be, I would imagine, very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of like seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, you know, like trusting that it's going to work and that this is something that you want to invest the time
Mhm.
in. How did you know that was something that you wanted to do to really just push through it?
I just didn't like being single, you know, in that sense. It's not that we were so young. Like
Yeah.
I still am young, but like I was 19. I think
Mhm.
she was like 17. I was like a 2-year age gap,
Yeah.
right? And like we're still both growing so much as people,
Mm-hmm.
you know. If you're going to judge like someone's character from when they're 17, we're a lot different now.
Yeah.
Like if we look back at what we did when we were 17.
We're all idiots.
Yeah, exactly,
Dude, we're
right?
all
Like,
idiots.
there's a lot of growing up for
Mhm.
people to do.
Yeah, you should try your best not to hold people accountable for their past,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so that's, I guess, the thing where you're trying to move past that, and then
Yeah. Just like when you do have a fight or a disagreement, just like the way that you handle it, at least for me, has changed as I got
Mhm.
older. And same with her. Like the way that she handles a fight has changed.
Mm-hmm.
Or the way that you speak to someone about how you want something to change in the relationship, right?
Is it that you're more like clear with it now? Is it because
Yeah.
you can articulate it better?
I think before, my biggest issue personally would, like, anytime that she would say something that she would like has a negative view in the relationship, I would just always feel like I'm being attacked.
Sure.
So like, she would say like, oh, this isn't going well, this isn't going right, like, why are you doing this? And I just like, I would like get upset or angry because I feel like you're attacking me, but like I could work on this,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I just didn't want to look at my own problems a
Yeah.
lot of the times, you know?
Yeah. No, I feel
And
you
I
on that.
feel like
yeah.
I'm a little more open now, like
Mm-hmm.
to those things. So I'm a lot more open.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone has problems that they need to fix in a sense.
Yeah, but
So-
it's tough to even just identify those problems
Mhm.
sometimes and start to recognize
Yeah.
like what part of yourself you have to be like
Mhm.
more okay with or get a better grasp over.
Yeah, I think it also comes down to a lot of people say you shouldn't try and change the person you're with because that's who
Mhm.
they are.
Mm-hmm.
But the problems, it's not like I'm trying to change who I am as a person. It's just like some like little things, you know, that I can
Mhm.
do to be more considerate or working on like for myself. I used to be like mad overweight, you
Yeah.
know, like I was like 265 pounds.
And now you're fucking
And
gorgeous.
when we first started dating, I wasn't. Like I was
Mhm.
pretty skinny.
Mm-hmm.
And over the time, I just like let myself go, right?
Yeah.
And so I got like quite large, you know,
Yeah.
in a sense, you know, for my own personal like liking, right? And then we had like a serious talk, you know, about like, hey, you know, and she wasn't attacking me, but she was just like straight up like, I don't feel as attracted to you like physically because you know you've gained so much weight over the years. And I think it was fair to say because it's physicality is a big
It
part
is
of a relationship.
real part of a relationship.
It is, and it's not mean. And she didn't bring it up in a mean way at all.
Mm.
And I agreed, and there was a time where I think it was like 3 years ago that happened, and I lost a lot of weight.
Mm-hmm.
And then I gained it back,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was like 230, 240, and then I remember at our friend's wedding, Diljot, and I saw a photo of myself, and my face was just like round.
Mm-hmm.
And then over the past like 6-7 months, I've been able to like lose the weight, and now I feel like I have like a lifestyle shift.
Yeah.
Like you don't see me eating fast food as much. Like now I feel okay with. I could have like a few things.
Yeah.
But every time I see you eating it, I'm like, no, get that out of the house.
This is dangerous.
But yeah, just to cycle back, like when the way that she was able to bring that problem to me, and for me to understand, like, hey, I did cause, I let it go.
Mm-hmm.
I let myself go, and then I was able to kind of fix it.
I like that you point that out, where it is that you're focusing on yourself, because it's not like she said, like, okay, you have to do this, and like you're like, otherwise I'm going to leave you or something like that.
Yeah, there was no like ultimatum. It was just,
and it was left to you to decide if that's something you want to change.
Yeah.
Right. And you did, which is good.
And I didn't, she brought it up, but it wasn't like, in my mind, it was like, I'm doing this for myself first.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the added benefit that she's going to think I'm sexy.
Right. Yeah.
In a sense. Like she kind of just like opened my mind to like, hey, I really am like letting myself go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I would get like 2 uniform orders for work, like summer clothes and like a winter clothes. And then the winter clothes would fit. And then I'd go to order the same size summer clothes, and they'd come, and then the summer clothes wouldn't fit. They'd be too small. And I'd be like, oh, but they're the same size that like I was wearing. Yeah. But like they're all new and tight. And I was like,
that's a shitty feeling.
Yeah.
Dude. That's a really shitty feeling. I was feeling that with my own work clothes, because we just had the shirt, right? And like I would change it out. And
look at you now.
And now I feel good, and I went down a size.
So you could tell all the people at home that I'm wearing your old pants right now.
Yeah.
Because they don't fit you anymore, but they fit me now.
Enjoy.
These are your pants.
Enjoy, buddy.
And I love wearing them.
Dude, they're really nice pants. And they look better on you than they looked on me. So
Lulu's.
Yeah. Lulu's ABCs. They're actually really good pants. And I had to buy 3 new pairs of them again, but like they're by far the comfiest pants I've owned. I know.
Yeah, so you're good. You know a guy.
I know a woman, and she helps out with discounts, which is really sweet of her. Thank you. I want to go back. You had said something earlier about like you knew you didn't want to be single, so there was like that 8-month period. That was enough for you to know, nope, this isn't it for me.
Mm-hmm. I'm a relationship man.
Yeah,
I like being in a relationship.
I love it.
I like looking at my future.
Mm-hmm.
I don't plan it out as much as you.
Mm-hmm.
I know we've talked a little bit. But yeah, I just don't like being single.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people will grow up and say you're with like a high school sweetheart, and someone might ask you a question like, oh, like you're only gonna be with one girl for the rest of your life. Like,
yeah, why not?
I was like, yeah, like it works for me.
Mm-hmm.
If it makes me happy, then I don't need that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not to say that people who, hook up with 10 different partners or have multiple different girlfriends, like it's just whatever works for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. There's no right or wrong way to it, but I just, I like being in a relationship.
Yeah, there's no blueprint to love, it's going to work the way it's going to work for each person. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. The reason why I'm asking about that is it's like for me, I mean, you've seen me in and out of relationships, but it's funny, like y'all have called me a relationship guy too, because it's like I'm looking for love,
Yeah, L for L.
L for
That's
L,
what it
man.
was, yeah.
Looking for love, dude. I love love.
I still think you're a relationship guy.
I feel like probably deep down I am, but it's such a weird process for me right now. I don't know why. I don't know why I can't just like make a choice, but maybe I'd rather be in limbo between choosing like, do I want to go after this thing or not, rather than go into it and then fuck it up further. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, talking about looking for love, or just the idea of looking for love. It's I like being in a relationship. Don't get me wrong. I like being in a relationship, and my last one, I loved it. It was like I the way that I see yourself and Fanny now, and of course this is my perspective. It's limited time. It's different. Maybe there's still a little bit of that sort of like honeymoon feeling to the relationship, because it was only 1.5, 2 years total, right?
It's quite a long
compared
time,
to
actually.
6.
But
I guess
still,
it's still decent. Like you're past the honeymoon phase of it. We
Hopefully.
just got along really, really well. you know? And so I really enjoyed that part of the relationship, but still something in me didn't want to be in a relationship at all, which is the strange thing to me because I don't get it necessarily.
Well, I think
it kind of pisses me off.
The thing that with you, and I just how I feel with Fanny, is that you're best friends first before you're like lovers. Like me and her, like our sense of humor just connect like so well.
Yeah.
Like our jokes and everything. Like we're best friends before we are lovers.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's almost like two separate relationships we have at a time. Like there's
so
sometimes when we're together, like at least when we're in front of people, we just look like two best friends, like the way
Yeah.
we talk to each other.
Yeah.
And then like we close the door and then it's like all love behind. She's like, come cuddle. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
And I think with you and Gemma, you guys were like you're so good with like the best friend part.
Yeah.
And that that's how you guys work really well together. And then like the lover side is where there might have been some difficulties.
Right.
That's just what, from my perspective, how I saw.
I like that. It's funny, dude. Like even your, like today, talking about just quickly your sense of humor being the same as Fanny's. I think sense of humor is a huge thing, by the way, when you're finding like a partner.
Yeah.
I think sense of humor is huge. But like when I came home and I told you, I got the meatball stuff, like you weren't even home yet. And I said that to her first, that like what I had for lunch was the meatball. And then she goes, what do you mean? The meatball's their worst sandwich. And then you come back like 30 minutes later. Yeah. I tell you, she hasn't said anything yet. And you go, what do you mean? The meatball's the worst sandwich. It's like, dude, you guys are the same fucking thing,
we're synced up.
And it's and you can just see it. And I love when you have that same sense of humor with a person because it just means you bounce off of them like crazy.
Yeah.
And when your brains work like that, which clearly yours do, I think it
brains
just
are a little
feeds
weird.
into your relationship. Your brains are definitely a little weird.
Yeah.
But I like it, man.
Yeah.
I like it from the outside. It's amazing.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
When you're going into the lover side of things, or like when you're putting aside the best friends and then you get to the relationship side, that's when it comes to like you have to make certain sacrifices in a sense, right? And I think maybe why it doesn't work for some people is they don't want to sacrifice all these things that they might have to.
What kind of stuff do you think of sacrificing or needing to sacrifice?
I mean, maybe like a few years ago, like 2-3 years ago, maybe even 4 or 5 years ago, when all the boys would be going out. They'd be, most of them single, like, oh, we're going out. And then I would say, oh, do I want to go out with them or do I want to stay in with my girlfriend, you know? And some nights I'd go out, some nights I'd stay in. But like, if you're single, you don't have to make those choices, right?
You're just
like,
you
do whatever you want, you know?
Yeah.
Or going to family dinners or events, or every time one of these holidays comes around, like you're going to sacrifice doing something that you might not want to do and go do it with them just for love, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes why a lot of relationships don't work is because people don't want to make any of the sacrifices.
Yeah.
You know, they just want to do what they want to do all the time. Or someone would expect, oh, I'm just going to do what I want to do all the time. And you could follow along if you like, and we could be in a relationship, but like, don't expect it to go the other way. And that's not going to work.
I think that's part of maybe what I've like faced as a problem. And maybe you can tell me if I'm right there. But yeah, like for me, I know that there were things that she wouldn't like enjoy as much as I did out of like group activities with like the friends and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And so I felt sometimes torn, especially before we had taken our first break. You know, I think I felt that quite a bit, where it was like I was missing out on this time with my friends, or I felt like I was, and so I wasn't willing to make that sacrifice at that point, you know? So it's almost like maybe that's part of why in my head I've wanted to not be in a relationship so that I don't have to be sacrificing. I think, even as I'm saying this right now, like that sounds kind of in line with what I said to Jesse before. I told him in like one of his first episodes, I feel like a relationship requires a lot of your time.
It does. And
that you should be devoting a lot of time to it, or at least that's the way that I view it, and I guess the way that you view it too. You should be giving your time to that person. And because I felt torn between doing that and giving my time to other people, and I wanted to give my time to other people, that's maybe part of why I wanted to step away.
I think that makes a lot of sense. And for me, I guess growing up, like how I said I used to have to make those decisions like 5 or 6 years ago. Now it's not even a hard choice anymore. It's not that I don't like my friends. I love all you guys, but like I don't really care if I miss a hangout now.
Right.
You know? It's like, yeah, I'll
It's
stay,
not the
I'll
end of the
stay at
world.
home
Yeah,
with you.
yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
Whereas like before it was like, oh, like I'm going to miss out so much, but we just do the same stuff.
And at the same time, though, I would imagine like I feel like I've seen it. You both are better at positioning when you do want to have a time.
Mm-hmm.
You're better at setting that up in a way. Like you'll give a significant heads up, like, hey, the guys are going to be doing this thing.
Yeah.
I'd like to join for that. And then
I'm a big
you're
planner.
good with that.
I'm a big planner. I love to plan out everything.
Yeah.
Like, I do things at certain times. I'm like never late for work, right? Like I've my whole day planned out. If I say I'm going to go to the gym at this time, I'm going to the gym at this time.
It's on the dot.
I don't want anyone to change it.
You go to sleep on the dot.
I've been actually giving that a little bit, but normally I get my 8 hours, you know.
Yeah.
If I won't give in to guys like one more game. I'm like, no, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
Pussy. Whatever. You need 8 hours of sleep to do physical labor.
100%. Tell people what you do. Best cardboard maker in town.
I make cardboard boxes.
My fucking
You know
man,
it.
dude.
The most state-of-the-art facility in Western Canada.
Is it really?
Self-proclaimed. It's on their website. But yeah, I make
This is the
cardboard
best
boxes.
podcast on the internet.
Yeah,
Oh,
you know
man.
what? I used to
Holy
work at Air
shit.
Canada though, which was like helped me and Fanny go on a lot of trips.
Yeah,
which
true.
was
Yeah,
nice. Yeah, we went on a lot of
there's
trips.
benefits.
But now we can't even go on trips. So Air Canada said, "See you later." I was like, "All right, I'll go make cardboard then."
Yeah,
But it's not a bad job. It's
Mhm.
boring, but it's not a bad job.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you. It said something about you had said something about fuck. What did you say? Planning. You had said something about planning, and earlier you had joked about me planning my
Your
future a
life.
lot more. What do you mean
Mhm.
by that? Is the
Well-
whole idea of like me thinking like that I wanted to marry this person, like that kind of planning?
In that sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little too early because I
Mhm.
haven't really thought about that stuff until like the last like maybe 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's when, but maybe it's just the age we're at that you really start thinking
Maybe.
about that stuff. Maybe it doesn't
Maybe.
have anything to do with the relationship length. It just has to do with how old you are as a person and
Mhm.
what your goals are, right?
I wish I
So
knew.
it
like, the
probably
stats
wasn't
on
that because at 19 I wasn't thinking about when I'm gonna get married, but now
Mhm.
I'm 25, turning 26. I'm thinking about okay, you know,
Mhm.
we're losing time here. That's basically what it is, you know.
All right, are we doing this?
And-
or not?
Yeah, you know, I definitely. So that's maybe why I think about these things a lot more.
Yeah.
But we both have like timelines for like personal goals that we want to
Like
finish.
Like what?
Like
in terms of, like,
she's in
careers,
school
or-
still. She has a year left, so she has a goal. You know, she has to finish her degree,
Mm-hmm.
right, and then she can move up at her workplace. I'm starting a new because I got laid off from Air Canada. I kind of realized, hey, I need a skill because
Yeah.
I got nothing. You know, I didn't go to college. I did 1 year,
Mhm.
so that's worth nothing. So now I'm working on power engineering, and I want to finish that by the end of the year.
Right.
And hopefully I could get a job as a power engineer at the plant I'm working at.
Sick.
But those are like personal goals that we both want to finish before we say, okay, we're going to make the next step, right? Which would be to live together and leave you in the dust.
Hey, you know what, man?
You know, because I don't think
That's
it's
all right.
financially smart to move in, you know, with someone who's not, well, she's working full time in her co-op now, but like,
Mm-hmm.
you're still in school. That's your main focus. I'm doing something now. That should be my main focus. And once that's done, then we get set up because I don't want to be set up for failure.
I feel like that falls
And
very
she-
much in line with
yeah.
your idea of being like working on yourself, not
Mhm.
changing the other people in the relationship. That's a really good idea to be
Yeah.
having your own goals like that.
We're both we're growing separately together.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think people understand that.
How do you feel like that works? Like the idea of growing separately together. Maybe before we get to that, I'll very quickly, because we talked about it. For people listening, watching, I dive like pretty quickly into like love with someone once I've decided that I love them.
That is where it came from. The term
Yeah.
L for L.
L for L.
You're looking for love. You don't look for a girl that you just want to throw away in a week. You know, you're not that kind
Yeah.
of guy. When you're looking for a girl, you're looking for someone you're gonna love for the rest of your life.
Yeah, if I'm dating
That's
them,
why your
I'm-
name is
yeah.
L for L.
Fuck,
Ruben
man.
L for L.
God damn it. Not a problem with that.
No, that's actually,
yeah.
you know, healthy. You know, that's, I think, the whole point of life and dating is to find someone you're going to spend your life with.
Mm-hmm.
Some people may disagree. They just want to hit the town, as
Mhm.
many people as they can, go for it, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with it, and that's okay. But yeah, my experience with love is, I like it, I enjoy it, I feel really great when I am in love, but then there's still that thing. And for me, I guess we've touched on already, was the idea of not being able to take away that time and divert that the right way and split it.
There's just so much going on this year, especially, you know, in people's minds. There's so much going on, and your brain will get pulled in many different ways. Yeah, and you're just trying to figure it all out and put it together. It's one big puzzle, and eventually the pieces will fall. You know, I just feel like my pieces were like fairly easy to put together. You know, at least this past year, like everything just. I think getting laid off from Air Canada was probably like the best thing to happen to me because I'm just like. I've got this like newfound drive, you know, where I lost like 60 pounds. I'm doing this schooling. I have like a clear career path that I want to go to, and all the pieces are just
living in a decent
together.
Place with a good guy.
And you're doing your first piece with this. You know, this is the first piece of your like newfound puzzle that you're creating, and the rest are gonna come together. Yeah, I'm so deep.
Thanks, man.
I fucking
deep. Love that, dude. I
so
really
deep.
like that. So yeah, then how do you feel like to go back to where I came back from there? How do you feel like growth has been affected with being in a relationship? Because you've been together for a long time and you've grown as individuals, like you said. How do you think you manage that? Like, how does one manage that when you're in a relationship?
At first, very poorly, like personally. It just goes back to like how I let myself go physically, but it was also kind of like I got comfortable, and I felt like, oh, I'm in a relationship with this person for 3 years. Like, they're always going to love me. Like, I could just do whatever, you know? And I didn't have those goals for myself. I got so complacent. I was just kind of living life with no drive. And, you know, not trying to sound like one of those, like, businessman podcasts where you need to, like, be doing something better every day. Like, it's okay to relax, but, like, it's good to have, like, a long-term goal that you need to focus on or something like that. And, you know, she had a serious conversation with me. It was about a year ago, kind of about that, and it was partly to do with, you know, my physical health and things like that, and it just kind of everything just sparked from there, and especially with Air Canada laying me off, and then I just felt like I needed to do better. But I think if I could like go back multiple years into the relationship, I would definitely want to start it sooner, you know, not fall into that complacency trap.
Yeah.
Because
where you're just enjoying that comfort so much of the relationship.
Exactly.
You know?
Like you should still want to impress your significant other, you know, in more ways than one, just maybe by being intellectual, being amazingly sexy, who knows, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, you know, that's one thing that's probably like the biggest killer of relationships is complacency in that sense.
It's funny like even just talking about that. You like when thinking about when you first are attracted to someone, like, yes, of course you're attracted to how they look. There's a part of it where you're attracted to how they look, but then you start to get attracted to their personality. And I think one of the biggest things that is attractive, at least to me, I think it's attractive, is when someone's driven, when somebody has goals, when somebody's doing things, you know what I mean? When they're working on themselves. And that can be really attractive. But then when you get to a relationship, what happens, and I've felt it, what happens is you start to just focus on that other person so much. And you maybe lose that initial drive for yourself. And if that person were, let's say, attracted to that drive in you, and now they see that's gone, now they've lost something that they were attracted to. Right? And that could happen. Tough, yeah.
I feel like personally, our goals are kind of similar in like schooling sense. Completely different topics, but like, you know.
But trying to learn and get better.
Exactly. So if she has like class or something, like she'll use my computer, I'll shut the door and I'll like come out and do something else. Right? I'll just give her like her space. Or if I need to do like my quizzes or a test or something, then she'll be there. We both support each other. Like, I think she supports me a lot in what I'm doing. She's like really proud, and I'm really proud of what she's doing. And kind of just builds on the drive, you know, it just keeps going. Building.
I hope that keeps up, man. That's nice.
I hope.
That's a nice feeling.
Yeah, well, the good thing, at least for me personally, it's not just the 1 year, right? I can go higher with like power engineering. It goes all the way up to first class, and I'm only doing the 4th right now.
Sure.
A lot of people, I mean.
So it's like you're in a position where even when you're done this one
I could keep
more.
learning.
There's
right?
more where you can keep working.
The main
That's
goal
awesome,
is
man.
Yeah.
So when I guess maybe that fits into what I imagine makes your relationship stronger over time, because you mentioned how before things were different when we lived together before, right? You handled your conflicts differently. It was a little bit
It's like that, like,
touchy. Yeah.
That's how I would think about it, you know? But we got through it.
Yeah. What do you think? I guess maybe you can tell me if it was just that whole like sense of just getting better for yourself and working on yourself more. But what do you think had made your relationship stronger over all these years? Why does it continue to get stronger?
That's a toughie.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I can't really pinpoint one specific thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when we both realize, well, at least me, when I realize that I need to, when I work on myself to be a better person, it also like works on our relationship to be a better person, in a sense. Like, when I'm more confident in myself and what I do, then I'm also more confident in my relationship and how I treat her and how I handle things. That's been a big thing, actually. She wants me to work on how confident I am. You know, she would always make jokes, say like, oh, when we go to a restaurant, like, do I need to order for you and things like that? Because there'd be times where like I just don't want to talk to people, and I'm just like a little nervous. But now, like, I would always try and let her go first, like if we're going through somewhere, because, you know, gentlemen. But now she's like, no, you go first. Okay, I'll open the door. I was like, yeah, we got a reservation for Evan now. Yeah, 7:30, and you know, I'll come in there walking. I'll try and be all macho, and she's like, wow, because I would be like a pretty, I don't know, anxious, anxiety, but I'm kind of working through that. Growing together, I don't know. Yeah. It's just, and the strengths that come from it, it's hard to pinpoint, honestly.
Yeah, I guess it all just sort of folds in on itself, you know, like that growth that you have obviously results in a stronger relationship. Right?
Yeah, I don't really focus too much. I don't look at the past in that sense. Kind of like we have great memories, but I'm always like looking about what are we going to do in the future. I guess that's just how I am. I don't reminisce too much about like, oh, this was such a great time, because I always think to myself that the future is going to be better. Right?
That's a good way of looking at life, man. That's a good way of looking at relationships, especially. You know, because you're not just thinking how things might have been better at some other point, because who knows if they were better at some other point. How do you even compare your relationship to 4 years ago to where it is now? You know, as long as it's feeling good right now, and if you can continue to make it feel better, then keep doing that. I guess.
I think the big thing is having like aligned goals. You know, we always would joke about, you know, how many kids are we gonna have. At least we both know that we want kids, because that's that's a big thing. I always said I want 3. And she wants 2. I'm like, two's not
where am I gonna get the third? Huh?
But then I always think, oh, in this economical climate,
in this economy,
you get 3 kids. You better have a good job, man. We can't even afford the house we live in, Rubes.
Don't remind me.
Yeah,
don't remind me.
But you know, if you guys both have like similar goals in that sense, I guess having kids could be considered a goal.
Yeah.
Then you'll always want to work together towards that. You know. Or to buy a property together, or, you know, plan this cool vacation together, because she really loves traveling. I really love traveling.
Where you want to go next? When you can, I guess.
Well, we kind of want to go back to Portugal, because she's going to hate me for saying this, but she has like some stomach issues, you know. And when we were in Portugal, I guess it was just something was acting up, but we were in like our room for like one whole day, and she was just you know. So we need to go back to Lisbon. But we had like a great time for the other 2 days. You know, we did like a day trip to this place called Sintra.
You're gonna show up at that hotel. Castle. We're back.
You bet.
So you did a day trip to Sintra?
Yeah. But yeah, you know, gotta make sure you bring the Pepto.
Yes, sir. Travel kit.
If it helps. Man. Yeah.
Dude, terrible.
Yeah. She's gonna kill me for saying that.
I love you, baby. For my own experience now, I guess, being single and sort of, I don't know if tiptoeing is the right word, but dancing around the idea of a relationship, because I still talk to Gemma, right? And I like still being able to talk to her, but I have no idea where that like fits, because there's a side of me that is so fixated on this, I don't know, this need to label things and to plan. To plan. You know, and when I'm
I think
sitting in flux here, I don't like that feeling necessarily.
What do you mean by sitting in flux?
Where it's like, I know I enjoy talking to her. I know we still do get along as well as we do. So then it's like, well, why don't you just try dating again? Because I'm not ready to just try dating again. So it's like, I have to be okay with that part of it. And
and she does too.
Yeah.
Right? Because then how long can you go on with this, like just being friends and hanging out a little bit and talking without her questioning, why doesn't he want to be in a relationship with me?
Yeah.
And then you give her the cliche, oh, it's not you, it's me.
Yeah.
When that's actually what it is, though. Like,
and it is. And it sucks that it's a cliche, but it
really
is.
does.
Man.
It's true. You got to believe him. You got to believe him. I swear.
I swear to God. Yeah, man. So it's the reason why I bring that up is it's like when I hear you talking about self-growth and still being able to do that even while you're in a relationship, that's what I'm doing out of a relationship. And I'm still kind of keeping back in mind like the possibility of going back to that, right? And seeing if then we're at a better place or I'm at a better place where now it fits,
right.
You know, where maybe I'm at that next step with my puzzle.
Yeah.
You know, I'm at that next step with my puzzle where it's feeling a bit more put together. Did you listen to that Daniel Sloss thing on relationships?
Who?
Daniel, it's
Kahoo?
Yeah, Kahoo.
Sorry, no.
Shout out Kabir. That there's this thing on Netflix, this special. It's a comedy special, and it's this guy Daniel Sloss.
Comedy. I might actually look into it then.
You should check it out, but only for this scene. This is the only clip that I watched. But he talks about relationships and how sometimes people might look at a relationship where it's like you're building a puzzle together, but that's not what it is. You each have your own puzzle and you're working on it. And you can't jam your pieces together. They don't work. You can't magically find something where it's going to work. You're just working on your own puzzle. He has like the 4 corners labeled as certain aspects of your life, and I forget what they are, but who cares?
That makes a lot of sense.
I like that outlook of it where he kind of takes like a really pessimistic view on relationships. He's like, this
I think
is
if
why
we just
I never
keep it
want to
plain
be in
like
one.
that,
but if we keep it as simple as just you're building your own puzzle,
maybe the puzzles can be of similar things.
Yeah,
similar
you're building a picture that
backgrounds.
starts to look similar.
Yeah,
right. And
but
then
I think
you
it's
start thinking,
definitely
oh, I
gotta be your
like your
own
puzzle.
puzzle.
I like the look of it. I'm still going to build mine, but I like the look of your puzzle. And if you want to build yours next to me, let's work on it side by side. You know, don't mix your fucking pieces. But
you can help them put in a piece of their puzzle.
Yeah,
right.
I love you,
and
man.
she can help me put
you,
a piece of my puzzle. It's actually funny that you say that because she loves puzzles. I know if you remember, we were doing that one here.
Yeah.
And we had some friends over pre-COVID.
Yeah.
And she's like, they better not mess up my puzzle. They better not. Can you watch it? And she literally had me like sit at the table. Like I was just sitting there with my beer, like making sure no one messes with the puzzle drinking. She loves it.
Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that
it's a good way to look at it.
It's a good way to look at it. And you can build yourself. You can work on your puzzle in and out of a relationship. You just got to figure out what your puzzle's starting to look like.
Yeah.
You know, and then have that next step, have that next section that you're filling out, you know. As long as you're still working and you both like the looks of each other's puzzles, then you keep going.
Yeah. I think that's okay. And a lot of people will take the view that like when you say that if you break up with someone and say I really just need to work on myself, people will just say that that's just a BS excuse. And I don't think that's the right view of a lot. Like
it can be a real reason.
It can be, it's serious that you do need to work on yourself, you know. You would always at least tell me like that you're having some issues at work, not issues per se, but like you didn't like the route that work was going at least the past like few months, and now you found this new experience that you're doing. You know, you've kind of got this like newfound like not love for work, but you're like interested in what you're doing, you know.
I'm definitely more like passionate about it.
And that's kind of helped you. There was days you'd come home and you'd just be mad, and you just would be like venting to me, oh, I'm mad about, you know, how my day went. And the last few times you've been coming home, you say, oh, I've been doing this, I've learned this, you know, and it's been nice to like hear you have like a different outlook on what you're doing. And then when you have that different outlook, that feeds into, you know, your relationship or a relationship.
It feeds into how you're feeling about yourself, you know? So when I wanted to be out of a relationship because I wasn't feeling good, you know, I wasn't feeling good about me, and I couldn't pinpoint it. I don't remember having that conversation with her, and it was hard because I couldn't even explain why I'm feeling the way I was feeling. You know, I just knew something was wrong, and I knew that if I stay in here, it's going to continue to hurt the relationship more than it's going to feel good.
Exactly. You ever see those like older TV shows, like a family drama or sitcom or something, and like the husband comes home and the wife made dinner, but he had a shitty day at work, so all of a sudden her dinner sucks, and then he just starts like freaking out. And that's kind of like how it would come portray in real life. Like, you're not gonna come home and beat your wife over dinner, but like if you had a bad day 50s, at work, man. Like if you're not feeling good about what you're doing, it's gonna have a real negative impact on your relationship.
Yeah, because work is a bulk of your day. You know what I mean? It's 40 hours of your week. We work too much. We work too much. Seriously, man. And then now, anyways, but you can't be at a negative headspace with your personal life and then make a relationship work. If you're sad or upset or frustrated with where you are, you can't expect yourself to be happy and make everything work in a relationship.
And I think another reason why a lot of relationships may fail is because people will get into that space and then they'll expect their significant other to like be the cure for that.
Yeah.
And that's not their job.
No, like,
this
is that whole puzzle idea. You're not
supposed to be happy together. You're not supposed to have the other person fix you for who you are, you know?
And so if you need to take time away, which is what I felt like I needed to do, I feel like that at the end of the day is going to be healthier for a possible relationship compared to staying in it and letting myself feel like shit and
I agree.
Let that hurt us when we were together.
Because a lot of times it'll go on and then you'll break up, but you'll break up in a very bad way, and then you'll just hate each other. And you'll never have that chance to see what could have been,
Yeah. Because if you were best friends with these people, I guess this goes to, I had said something to, was it Kabir where I talked about Skepta? I don't know. Yeah. But that whole Skepta quote where it's like, if you really love this person, you can continue to talk to them. Right. And I think that's the same idea for me in my experience has been like, this person was my best friend for a year and a half.
Yeah, I saw it.
Like Seb, you are always my best friend, but you know what I mean. You get what I'm saying, right? Who? Yeah, man. And so it's. I would never want to abandon that, and I guess that's where I'm at with relationships. I'm single. I am single right now, and I'm single because
I can't
because I can't be in a relationship right now because I'm still figuring out things for me. And I struggle to work on myself. I haven't done that learning piece.
You feel like you can't because of the relationships have time constraints in a sense, right?
And so I feel like I can't work on myself. I can't address these things I was having. Like I started counseling because I was feeling negative about work at the time. Yeah. Right. And so like I did that step and I needed to work on things for myself. I started journaling because I needed to work on things for myself because I need to figure out why I feel the way that I feel about some things. And I couldn't stay in that relationship because of that. And that's okay. And that doesn't mean I'm writing off the relationship. That doesn't mean I'm saying we can never be together again. But it's still a fine line to kind of navigate after the fact because you don't want to give someone like false expectations or set things up for failure again.
And not give them, the 100% that you should be giving.
Yeah, like when you're ready to give the 100%, right? Because I don't know. It's like I'm impressed by the fact that you were able to learn over that 2 years when you first got back together, that you were able to learn how to still improve yourselves as individuals while staying together. Because that's something I feel like
it was really like within like the last year and a half, like like I said, there's the ups and downs in a relationship, and then I'd say we were in like a down part, because I was feeling a little negative, I guess, but she's always been there. She's always like stuck with it through me, in that sense.
And that's special, man.
Yeah,
that's
it is
special.
It is, but I think that she understood that I needed to work on myself, and she was willing to, wait. And there's been times in the past where I needed to work on myself, and I would come up short. I'd give all the lip service. I'd say I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be better, right? And I'd come up short, but she stayed with me because she believed in me. Not like she was like gonna break up with me. Like, there's no ultimatum, but like. She just kept driving me to be better. And then, you
Mhm.
know, last year and a half, it really clicked that like, hey, I'm a man now. I'm not a little boy. Like I really need to level up in that sense.
You gotta
And
own
it's only been up from there. You know, I feel
Mhm.
great about myself personally and where I'm going. I feel great about what she's doing,
Yeah.
and I'm helping her, you know, build her path at her career that she's doing. She always comes to me when she's having something with work and
Yeah.
how she's feeling, and we're just there to build each other up now.
Yeah.
You know,
And I guess
It
that's
feels
the key
good.
to it, you know, like that's why. And you guys are doing amazing. I see you every day. You guys are really, really good. You're working on yourself real hard, and it's
Yeah.
paying off.
When you see me walk around shirtless,
Oh, dude, take it all off.
me and Ruben
man.
just flex into each other in the morning,
Literally.
go for breakfast.
Yeah.
Hey,
Every
man.
time we come back from the gym, we'll just like stand in the kitchen and
Gym bros
just stare at each other.
with the lighting.
I love it.
It's not all about physical.
No.
We're doing better too.
Yeah, we're
you know?
gassing each other up.
Yeah. Your brain is so smart.
Your brain is not smart. I think just for time's sake, like we can end around here, and I appreciate everybody taking the time to listen. And it's like I like hearing your perspective because it's given me something to think about and realize that I'm okay where I am.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a little bit concerned with like, am I gonna somehow fuck up my ongoing friendship with Gemma, and am I gonna like jeopardize that in some way? But I think even today, just I was able to identify more of why I'm where I am now.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you talking to me about that.
I just want to add one more thing.
Please.
I think for your sake, I know I said earlier something like, you know, we're not getting any younger here, like, you know, time is of the essence, something like that. But I don't know if you know my parents. My dad met my stepmom, who I consider my mom. Like when I just say she's my mom.
Yeah.
But they met, you know, I was 5, and my dad was he was in his 30s or something, and
Really?
they have like an age gap, but like they had to get together. You know, my little sister Emily, she's turning 17 now this year, and like so my dad found love like way after, you know, late, and now we have like a huge family, you know, 6 of us. So there really is no time limit unless you're like trying to have a kid at 60 years old, then maybe there's a time limit, but like you don't need to feel like pressure in that sense. I was just kind of saying it as a joke, you know?
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. You don't have to rush into it. Things are going to work out the way that they're going to work out. And you just have to trust that if a relationship is something that you do want, a relationship will eventually show. And it's going to be the right one at some point.
Amen.
Amen. Amen, brother. I praise God every day. Dude. Buddies, come over to this side of the place. I see a woman.
No talking.
Head down. Okay. Anyways, thank you everybody for checking out the episode.
You're gonna put that in?
Yeah, 100%. Dude, that's gonna be the end of the episode. Thank you everyone for listening to the episode, watching it if you're watching it. If there's anything else that you wanted to ask after listening to this episode, feel free to leave a comment and I'll be happy to check it out for you. But I will see you all next week. Bye-bye.